In this video, we are trying to explain what the tragedy of the commons is. If you guys don't know much about it, or if you guys don't know economics, oh, there's a fire. I'm so easily distracted. It's basically a theory by this guy called Garrett Hardin, and it is a theory for, about overpopulation and what's going to happen if we keep on breeding, basically.
Okay, so this is a great village because look, it has farms and animals. Okay.
It's poor.
It's poor. Good
This
to
is
get
like
into.
this is like a student's seat, and I'm looking at the teacher.
Oh my gosh, it is. Okay. So, Tangli, there are two categories you can put goods into. You can put them into rival and non-rival, and excludable and non-excludable. So, food, which here there's a lovely village farm. Oops, I just broke it. Okay, never mind. Is rival because there's a limited amount of food, and it's also a excludable because you know you're not sharing your food with the whole world. Okay, but fishing is a common good because like anybody can go get the fish. So it's also a lot to do with kind of how our society works. Like our society works where anybody can fish, but not everybody can produce food and get food. So yeah, fish is rival because there's a limited amount of fish, but a common good.
Yeah, the sun is a non-rival good because everyone can access the sun, and that's it. That's a non-rival good. So you're not in competition with the people around you for sun.
But the sun is also non-excludable.
Yeah, the sun is a non-rival, non-excludable good. So food is rivalrous and excludable, and the sun is non-rivalrous and non-excludable.
So what would be a common good and excludable?
A common good is a non-rival good that is excludable.
Wait, what? Oh yeah, I mean a rival good that is excludable.
Food.
Oh, sorry, I meant... Okay, I meant a non-rival good that is excludable. So we're not fighting over it, but
the example that they gave was cable TV.
The problem with explaining this in Minecraft is a lot of things are infinite and you're able to produce them over and over. For example,
goodness me, I have
trees, you can get saplings.
I have an idea.
Oh yeah.
One of the other examples they gave were like lamppost on the streets. Because light from like a light source is sorry, can you move?
Oh.
Yeah, I'll put it in wait, I can't put it here?
You go, you want me to put a...
And then I just got that, yeah. Because you see light source, like if I put a torch here, it's rivalrous because there's a limited amount that it will illuminate. But it's non-excludable.
Because everybody can access it.
Yeah.
And it's like on common ground, like anybody can go and walk past the light post.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, that's such a good example.
I finally got there.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we've had the fish, the food, the lamppost, and the sun.
Yeah.
Boom. So the prisoner's dilemma kind of starts with a story. And it's two prisoners are caught for like a minor crime. So let's say, should we use stealing my car? They stole my car, and the police catch them and they say, right, they separate the prisoners into two rooms. So Tangli, you can be prisoner 1, I'll be prisoner 2.
Yeah.
And they say to prisoner 1, like, okay, you can confess to doing it, and you can confess me for doing it and say that you did nothing, and then you'll get you'll be free and I'll get like 6 years in jail.
Yeah.
Or you can say that both of you equally took part in the crime and you both get like 2 years in jail.
Yeah.
And I can do the same thing. I can like snitch on you, or I can say it was both of us and the same consequences happen.
Yeah. So basically there are 4 options, which has person A. Let's use.
Oh, this is a good idea.
Person B. And they are not meant to communicate with each other.
You should do that one in a different colour.
They're both prisoners, whatever. Yeah, so they're not meant to communicate with each other. Let's put a barrier block. Actually, can you put bedrock instead? Yeah. So just right in front. Yeah. So they're not meant to communicate with each other. And so in this situation, individual incentives is probably going to be, how am I going to get away the most from doing this? So the dilemma is that if one of the person confesses, like let's say person B snitches on person A because they think, oh yeah, I want to go free, and person A decides that saying nothing gets the best option, because if saying nothing for both gets 6 months, then person B goes free and person A gets 10 years in jail. And likewise if it's a swap. The dilemma is basically how communication, or the lack of communication, can create this conundrum on how do we manage our not just, actually, to be fair, it's not just common goods. Basically, the moral of the story is communication is key. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. I mean, the common good here is time.
Well, it will benefit the use of their time. Obviously, option 2 and option 4 are the best options if with communication. No, there's always that incentive or like self-motivation to get less than the other.
Yeah.
And especially because there's no communication in this scenario. It's rather like, would you rather out yourself and get 2 years in jail? Or, I mean, out yourself. If you out yourself, not out yourself, sorry, if you out the other person,
you could go completely free.
You could go completely free, but you will also get 2 years in jail. But then if you don't out yourself, you're having that risk that someone else outs you first.
And then you get 10 years in jail.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's why it's so hard, because you want to both say nothing, but you're also risking like 10 years in jail.
Exactly.
Or 2.
Yes.
So no, really, actually, you want option 4.
But the thing is,
it's really high risk.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you out someone else, your option is free or 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
But then in comparison, if you don't out yourself, your option is 6 months or 10 years.
Yeah.
So there's always that. Well, in this scenario, it's like, well, I don't know, I'd rather be in jail for 2 years than like be in jail for 10.
Yeah, same. I mean, that's why this is a dilemma.
Yeah, it's also called game theory. It's another word for that.
Oh, yeah.
And,
yeah. And this also kind of explains the free rider's dilemma as well. So if you're a free rider, that would be kind of like snitching on the other person. So you're trying to get away with it yourself, to the detriment of others. So, but obviously the free rider's dilemma, if everybody's a free rider and everybody's trying to take advantage, they get 2 years in prison, and when they could be getting 6 months.
Yeah.
So I have 5 cows and you have 5 cows, and we're sharing this land together with farmers.
Yep.
And our cows are surviving well. It's sustainable. There's enough soil and grass for them to survive. and but I'm feeling kind of greedy, and I think
So
that
you're
if
gonna
I
add.
had more than, yeah, I think if
Okay.
I had more than 5 cows in this farm, I could be getting more out of it. So
We should have name tags.
I want 5 more cows.
Yeah. And because I see this other farmer add 5 more cows, I would just say naturally, naturally, the second farmer will also add more cows for further productivity. So I'm going to add 5 more.
And then this is where the problem starts happening. So first of all, I was the first free rider. I was like, right, I'm taking advantage of this. You know, I want a greater benefit. And then you were like, well, so do I. So we've both become free riders. There's too many cows, and our land cannot take the amount of erosion that the cows cause. And basically, the land
Essentially,
is just gonna,
this.
yeah, it's just gonna die
Just
and
get rid
not
of the grass.
hold enough nutrients.
So, because of the overpopulation of cows, the resources that is the common field starts to deplete.
Everyone dies because they've got no cows to eat. No
Well,
to drink.
it's not just it's not just cows, but it's also like productivity. The cows aren't necessarily the first to die, actually, but more of like the soil. They can't hold. Like basically overgrazing the land, and then that comes with a lack of food, lack of nutrients for the grass.
And that's why this is a problem, because I mean, this is just the example that Hardin gave, but it applies to so many other things like overfishing. What else? Oh, overpopulation was his main analogy.
Oops.
So
I didn't mean to
saying,
get
like,
this cow. I spawned one by
are you
accident.
killing my cows?
I spawned that one by accident. It's not your cow, it's my cow.
You don't know that. It could be my cow.
I mean,
I'm protective over my cows. They give me money. He tried to use this analogy to explain overpopulation. So if you think of the cows as people, and he was kind of criticizing the fact that, you know, we shouldn't be having so many kids and that, because, you know, we're just gonna like deplete our resources. It's not sustainable. Like people are using more resources than we have, so eventually things are just going to run out. But then it kind of got a bit shady towards the end.
Got controversial.
Bit dodgy. Yeah, he
was a bit of a hypocrite. He has 4
kids. Bit of a hypocrite. He had 4 kids, yeah. When he was saying that people shouldn't really be having kids. And this was like in the 60s, where the population was not like
that
today,
bad.
you know? So Hardin had this, he also wrote a paper called Lifeboat Ethics. It was this idea that the rich people and the rich countries in the world are in the lifeboat, and the poor people of the world are swimming, wading in the ocean around them, and they're trying to get into the boat. And kind of it's this idea that they're trying to like get in the boat and save their lives from poverty. And so he was saying that basically we should just let them drown, and because if we put them all in the lifeboat, the boat would be overcrowded and it would sink, and none of us would be saved. So basically what he's saying is we have to sacrifice some people for
the sake of others.
Yeah, for the sake of others. And he's like, well, we may as well kill the poor people or get rid of the poor people, because I don't know, the rich people are more beneficial to society. So yeah, this theory is obviously messed up and, you know, kind of racist. But then we had Ostrom, who gave some alternative solutions. And she also talked about how the commons is kind of unrealistic, because
Can we go somewhere else?
Have a farm.
Get rid of the cows. I'm
The
so
cow.
annoyed.
When you have a farm, like if we had a farm together and we had those cows, we wouldn't, I wouldn't put more cows on our farm. Like I would be considerate of you, and we would talk to each other about it. Like we don't just silently own this farm. You know what I mean? So she did point out that this is kind of unrealistic, and he said, "Oh, imagine a farm where there are farmers." When no, this is actually happening. You can take a realistic example.
Yeah.
So she did kind of tear it down a bit.
But she also focused more on farming. She focused more on agriculture and land as a common, instead of Harden looked at overpopulation and human population as like a whole.
Yeah.
Well, with common pool resource management was a more specific. There's so many animals. Common pool resources were like more of it was more of a community solution. I hope you guys learned something.
Yeah.
I'm getting so stuck in here.
And also the importance of criticizing theories too. Like not every theory is, right and great. So.
Yeah. I hope this was enlightening.
Enlightening.
Look at this farm.
How can this farm not be enlightening?
Exactly. I'm actually stuck. I'm just.
Aww, he's come to say hello.
He's coming to make me a fool. He's like, you fool, you're a penguin boxed